the solution is not physical, not least because there is no physical. It's perception. See, what we're doing is we are interacting with this reality, this quantum level of reality where all possibility and probability is waiting to be made manifest. And we are taking from that quantum possibility probability a frequency band of possibility and probability that relates to our sense of perception. Because if you think that you are little me, then the frequency you are operating on and the scale of that frequency is absolutely tiny. But when you self-identify and say, actually, I'm all that is, has been, and ever can be, having this experience, then you start to operate not only on a much higher frequency, but a much more expanded level of frequency. So now you're interacting with this quantum level of possibility and probability in a much more expansive way. And you're no longer operating within the frequency band, because that's what it is, of this matrix. You might still be perceiving it, but you're not being deceived by it, because you're no longer controlled by its perceptions, because you're somewhere else now. And instead of when you are in phantom self, little me mode, you're standing next to something and it's kind of fuzzy and out of focus and a reddish color. You're trying to work it out. You start to step back as you expand your awareness. Suddenly you're seeing, actually, it was a brick. And actually, the brick's part of a wall, and the wall's part of a house, and part of a street. And suddenly, as you expand your awareness by expanding your sense of self, that's how it's done. Who is the I? Ethel on the checkout, or all that is, has been, and ever can be. You're now at the top of the hill, and you can see the panorama. You can see the forest, if symbolically, because before you could only see the twigs. You're basically taking the headset off. You're taking the gloves off. You're taking the earphones off, and you're seeing what is there to be seen beyond the matrix, which is a frequency band. But everything we have ever believed, everything we've ever thought, everything we think we have ever perceived has been an illusion, a fake, a computer game to enslave our perception and sense of self. Therefore, it's no surprise that we live in a madhouse. This world is insane. The world is an inversion. Everywhere you look, the world's in an inversion. And what we have been manipulated to do, well, those that have not stepped off the stamp, they've been manipulated to believe that complete insanity is sane. And that people who are sane are insane. It's an inversion. And it's an inversion on purpose. It's an inversion that's systematic. And it's a version that must be righted if we're going to change this. Because you do not change the road you're walking down by continuing to walk down it. You change by changing direction. Even more than that, you change by changing perception. And then everything changes. We can only be manipulated by operating within the frequency band that they manipulate. You see, we look at this world and we see it as physical, but the real deal is going on at deeper levels. It's going on at the waveform level. And what we're looking at as we look at this world is a movie screen. And you don't change a movie screen. It's a done deal. Sit the screen. It's no good standing on a stage of a movie theater, screaming at the screen and telling the movie to change. It ain't going to change. It's happened. We have to change where it's coming from. That's where changing our frequency changes everything, because we change where we're coming from. If we collectively can change our perception, we'll change the reality of which this is just a reflection. You know, people, they talk about protest and waving banners and all that stuff, which is exactly what the system wants. He wants divide and rule. But the way to change hijack perception, which is creating this hijack reality, is to change our perception so it's no longer hijacked. You know, it's difficult sometimes to get this across because, you know, it's kind of not what you normally hear. But we have to change perception to change the movie. And perception, when we change perception, it's changing our frequency. It's changing how we vibrate. It's changing what we're interacting with. And you can literally change perception and dismantle this. What the world is at the moment is a collective creation of collective human perception. It's just a feedback loop. Perception is experience, leads to perception, leads to experience. Coming out of the waveform world into the holographic world, perception, experience, perception, experience. If we change this bit, the perception, the experience changes. And, you know, they don't work so hard to keep us in a low vibrational state. They don't work so hard to hijack our perception of self because it's a laugh and a bit of fun. They do it because without it, they can't control us. We should not think of ourselves as being human beings in a physical body being controlled. That's not who we are. That's just the projection that we decode. We are infinite awareness, capable of changing anything. And this is where the answers lie. This is where the answers lie, because if we try to change this world in this world, I mean, they're laughing at us because they know it will never change. It's like Einstein said on a much more, this world level. You can't solve problems with the same level of awareness that created them. And that's what we're doing, but we're doing it at a much deeper level. And if we can re-self-identify our sense of who we are, from little me, phantom me, to infinite me, the transformation in the collective reality that will create will change everything. I know it sounds trite and I know it sounds simplistic. It will change everything, because what we would like to change is a manifestation of the collective perceptual state of humanity. And if we don't change that, this will continue. The more we give our power away to technology, the more the technology will invade us. The more we give power to our infinite self and our infinite possibility, the more that will manifest within this world, and not a control system. A control system cannot manipulate infinite awareness and awareness of itself. Because A, it sees through the manipulation, and B, it's operating on such a level of insight, such a level of wisdom, such a level of energetic power and perceptual power and manifestation power, that these entities that people think are so powerful, it's a fly in an elephant's back to awareness and awareness of itself. But it's not to Ethel on the checkout when Ethel thinks she's Ethel on the checkout, and not infinite awareness having an experience called Ethel on the checkout. This is the perceptual transformation that has to take place. And if it doesn't, then nothing will change. And this is why whenever I talk about anything, whenever I write books, I never write a book without this. Because without this, you're just talking about a problem. You're not talking about how we change it.